Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hey Coach Tony. I'm your host, Tony Fiorino, and it is Sunday, March 27th. Hey, if you were listening to any sports radio at all this week, you're probably just like me, and you're getting tired of hearing about all these potential rule changes in the NFL. It seems you couldn't get through 5 minutes without somebody talking about whether or not there'd be kickoffs and where the ball would be placed and how this was all to protect the players and on and on. Just around the time that I was starting to get sick of it, I realized that there was a pretty cool idea floating around in my head, and then it dawned on me. Aren't there some pretty silly rules in youth sports? Wouldn't it be great if we could discuss some of these rules and suggest ways to change them to help improve the overall experience for our kids, as well as for ourselves as spectators? Well, this week I want to hear from you on this. I got plenty of emails during the week, and I'll be taking your calls to get your thoughts on some of these more ridiculous rules in kids' sports. The studio lines are already open. Remember, the new number is 855-HEY-COACH. That's 855-439-2622. And again, I'll be taking your calls throughout the show to find out which rules get under your skin and what you would propose to make things better. But while we're waiting for your calls, have I ever told you folks how I hate being right all the time? Well, unfortunately, it has happened again. Now, if you've ever listened to the show at all, you know that one of my pet peeves is the whole metal versus wood bat thing in kids' sports. It seems if it's not some idiot trying to convince me that there's no difference between metal and wood bats, it's some other mongo and his parents suing a bat company for making these, quote, weapons at the very same time that their kids are using those same exact weapons in their own Little League games. Well, last time I did a show on this, I came up with what I thought was a true stroke of genius. I basically called out Easton and DeMarini and Louisville Slugger, and I challenged them to stop worrying so much about the bats and to try to capitalize on the fact that pitchers may actually need some protection instead of, moving the game towards playing with Nerf equipment. Well, as usual, unfortunately, I'm right yet again. Just 2 weeks ago, Easton Bell, the manufacturer of Easton bats, many popular metal and alloy model bats, announced that it would be coming out with a piece of equipment that they are calling the Dome. The Dome is a protective headgear for baseball and softball pitchers. In fact, when Easton held its press conference to unveil the first prototypes of this product, guess who was on hand to be the poster boy for it? You guessed it, Gunnar Sandberg. Remember that kid? This is the kid who was pitching in a scrimmage out in California last year and got drilled in the skull with a line drive. Now, there are a few points of interest here, and again, I want to hear what you got to say, so we've opened the studio lines up at 855-HEY-COACH, and let me know what you think. But a couple of things here I want to get off my chest. And first, for some reason, there's still debate about metal versus wood and which is more appropriate for use in youth baseball. And again, I came up with the solution to this one well over a year ago when I pointed out that bat companies can simply solve this problem by manufacturing a bat to be as lively or as dead as need be the case. So the first step is basically to agree on a standard under which all bats must be manufactured, and that's the easy one. That one could be fixed tomorrow. The problem I have is this. Let's assume we all agree on the efficiency of these bats. We solve that and we figure out a standard tomorrow. My problem is this. What does that really solve? Answer, nothing. Even if kids are using wood bats, there can and still will be situations where a monster kid comes up. It doesn't even have to be a monster kid, but some kid comes up and lines one up the middle, and it still hits a kid in the skull or the chest or whatever. Now, for years, idiots have been chasing the wrong problem. The real fact of the matter is that we need to protect these young pitchers. If a ball coming off a metal bat gives a pitcher 0.32 seconds to react, and a ball coming off a wood bat gives the kid 0.5 seconds to react, is that really much of a difference? No, because either scenario could result in the death of a kid. So, rather than focus on how hard a kid is going to be able to hit the ball, we needed to shift the focus to the protection and the designing of the headgear and the chest gear for these pitchers, and finally that is happening. And I'm pleased about that. But now the question being raised is this, and it's been asked to me several times this week when I announced that Easton was coming out with this headgear. The question is this: isn't it unfair that companies like Easton, who make these dangerous weapons, are now cashing in on the potential sales of these helmets and chest gear and other protective equipment for the kids? Well, I heard a lot of this on the radio last week. I heard people chastising Easton for coming out with this helmet and making money for selling it. I mean, are you serious? First we crucify Easton for making these bats, and now we crucify them for trying to protect the pitchers. This is one that I really wonder what you folks think about. I know a lot of you are torn. I did get some emails on this one during the week. I mean, listen, is Easton doing the right thing here, or are they simply double-dipping and cashing in on a problem that they themselves created from their own original products? Well, 855-HEY-COACH is the number, and I'll be taking your calls in just a couple of minutes, but we're going to have to go to a break before we do. But before we go to break, folks, ski season is, I guess, officially over. This is, I believe, the last weekend of actual skiing at Catamount Family Ski Area in Hillsdale, New York. But there is still time to take advantage of the terrific rates for next year's season pass at Catamount. So I got to tell you, got to check this out, because as the off season progresses more and more, the rates are going to start going up again. So you got to take advantage of what's going on at Catamount. Again, I want to say thanks to my good friend Rich Edwards and the good people at Catamount for being such a terrific sponsor and supporter of Hey Coach Tony this past year. But again, just because ski season's ending doesn't mean you can't still go to Catamount and enjoy a terrific day of family fun, because soon Catamount's going to be opening up their aerial adventure park. This is a great, great day of ziplining through the trees and through the mountains. My family and I did it last year. We had a blast. So, continue to go to www.catamountski.com for more information about the opening of the aerial adventure park, and make sure you tell them Coach Tony sent you. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.